Yins guys, thank you for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast, where we talk all about them Pittsburgh Pirates and that. Today's October 31st. The Fall Classic is on fire and it's award season. Let's get into who's taking home some hardware this year on Halloween. Let's go Bucs. World Series is almost over. Braves took a 3-1 lead Saturday night. Now we're recording this episode Sunday afternoon before Game 5 tonight. So it's possible the World Series is already over when you guys are listening to this. It's very possible. But you don't realize what it could mean for the Pirates. You know what I mean? The World Series being over. So we're going to break that down a little bit. Jake, a little less nervous in your home now with a 3-1 lead?
Yeah, definitely a good vibe right now. You know, I said it before, and I'll say it again. Atlanta's got some legit pitching. Houston's not just deciding not to hit. They never do in the World Series.
Yeah.
Atlanta's just been able to shut them down. That's my dog.
Yep.
So with the exception of Game 2, Houston, they scored some runs Game 2. But either way, it's been a hard-fought series and a fun one to watch. I am looking forward to the offseason for the Buccos. Where does Sherrington go with transactions and that? Does he make a splash in free agency? Or does he just ride our guys? What about signing a veteran to bridge a gap? I know he offered a few hints for us already, but plans can alter if the right option's available.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting. I'm excited.
Yeah, they did make the Sherrington did say that they've had dialogue with Yoshi's guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a possibility of bringing him back. We've talked about that before, so it's possible.
Yeah. And what does the new CBA in turn run into? You know, do we get the DH? Do we not? You know, stuff like that. I mean, it all factors.
Yeah, I see that. I don't know that whether or not we get the DH plays a big part. Maybe it does, but I don't know. I still think that's an interesting topic on whether or not we do. I don't know that it changes how they go about free agency right now.
Yeah.
Especially when you already, especially if they're already having dialogue with Yoshi, because if we end up getting a DH, that's obvious to me.
Right.
To me. But yeah, it is. So the World Series, if you're a Pirates fan and you're not like a diehard baseball fan, then the World Series you say, well, I don't really care all that much. But there are some things that are tied to that. When the World Series is over is when free agents actually become free agents. It's like the next day. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not November 4th because the last Game 7 would be November 3rd if it goes there. It's not November 4th. It's the day after the World Series ends. And then you get 5 days to negotiate with those guys, and then they become free agents to anyone. But you do get, exclusively, you get 5 days. And so there is a little bit tied to that. Now, we only have, I think, just the 3, right? We've just talked about Yoshi. We've talked about, I'm going to draw a blank right now, of course. But either way, we just have the 3.
Yeah.
Cahill, he's obviously one I always forget about because it's not, you know what I mean?
Not that big of a deal.
Yeah. So anyway, it's not a huge deal for us. There's also some options. Like if Polanco was still with us, we would still have the decision on whether or not to pick up his option. If any of our guys were getting or in line to get a qualified offer, then that would happen in these 5 days. But we don't have any of that. So it's literally just we have 5 days to talk to Yoshi.
Yeah.
We'll see where the interest is one way, the other way. My guess is he's not going to sign in those 5 days. They're going to sit back. They're going to see
Right.
They're going to see a couple things because it's not just they're going to see what other teams are offering, but maybe it's in his best interest to find out if there's going to be a DH in the National League.
Yeah.
Does it make a few other teams interested that maybe weren't before?
Yeah.
So, and I think that if you're a National League team and you're going into this offseason, I think you're having conversations with guys. I think you're saying, hey, if we get a DH, we'd be interested. You know what I mean? It's possible. Don't know.
Yeah, it's just it's a lot. It's a lot of unknown because it's not something that's normal. You know, being
That the CBA is coming up, you mean?
Being that the CBA is coming up, and it's a very realistic possibility for the DH to come to the National
yeah.
League. It's not like sometimes they're like, oh, it might happen. No, it's probably not going to.
You think this is the time and it happens?
I do. I think this is the time.
Yeah.
I think that I don't think they wanted to implement it right after that shortened season. But I think that shortened season, getting a taste of full league DH was enough, and I think they're going to waiver that way.
Mm-hmm.
But
and then last night, Zach Greinke getting a base hit up the middle. Just in your face.
He's always been a good hitter.
Uh-huh. Well, it's award season.
Yeah.
We got a couple awards coming up this week with the Gold Gloves and the Silver Sluggers. They will be announced this week, and we actually have a little bit of action in that.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Gold Glove finalists, we got Stallings at catcher, Reynolds in center field, Kevin Newman at shortstop, Gold Glove finalists. So
well deserved. I mean,
sure.
That big streak with no errors, that's just not.
Yep.
Doesn't happen like that, especially a shortstop at a major league level. Like, he earned it.
Right. So, Jacob Stallings in the National League is going up, not going up against. The others are Yadier Molina and JT Realmuto. So that's going to be tough. But
sure,
he put up a good year.
Yeah.
So, but the other two have won Gold Gloves, is why I say that. Yeah. They have Gold Glove awards. He doesn't. But, we know what he did. I just don't know if the Pirates get that type of recognition. I just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
If Yachty would have said this is his last year, guaranteed he gets it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they look at it that way. Like, I don't think that they say, well, who really does? No. They're playing that game a little bit.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, that's what I think. Anyway, so that's who that's the other two finalists, so it's going to be between them. And I'm looking at it here, scrolling down. Shortstop, Brandon Crawford and Francisco Lindor. So, once again, Newman would be the only one. I think they've had multiple. It just doesn't say right off the bat, but both of those guys are legit. Mm-hmm. And if I was voting, I think Newman had a good year. It ain't happening, man. Those two guys are special.
I think his recognition for what he did is
the fact that he's a finalist is good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And that's always a big thing. And then Brian Reynolds, Harrison Bader, and Jackie Bradley Jr. And Bader and Reynolds, neither one have a Gold Glove. Jackie Bradley Jr., obviously regarded as one of the best in the game right now, has a Gold Glove. But if I'm picking on this, and I know that we love Brian Reynolds and he should be in the conversation, here's the deal. He's in the conversation. Right?
Yeah.
Harrison Bader, to me, I mean, we've seen the Cardinals enough this year. He was really impressive.
Yeah.
And if I'm the one voting, I don't know if I don't just go for Harrison Bader now. There may be other stat lines and whatever that's out there but the little piece right here says he led all National League center fielders with 15 defensive runs saved. And Bradley was second with 9. So
Bader led it.
Yeah. And Bader also led center fielders with a plus 13 outs above average, and Reynolds finished second with 10. So you got each of those guys being in a situation where they're right behind Bader, but like there's some distance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what has me thinking it's Bader's to lose in that case. Like if Bader doesn't get it, he'd have a case to say he got snubbed.
Sure.
The other two, I think you could say,
tip your cap to Bader.
You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, and according to that, and that's only 2 statistics.
Sure.
So that doesn't tell the whole story.
Right.
But that's where I'm at right now.
It would be nice to see at least one of those guys win it.
Yeah, and I think with that said, the best shot is Stallings.
I agree.
And even though I was more impressed, well, I don't know. I was going to say I was more impressed with Reynolds, but the only reason is because I thought he was a left fielder playing center, right?
Yeah.
But really, no pass balls?
That's insane. That's really impressive.
I might be more impressed with that because of no pass balls.
The difference. No, it's not really the difference. I should, but it kind of is because the defense of Stallings wasn't talked about as much as it was with Reynolds because Reynolds was, like you said, a left fielder playing center.
Well,
but
it's hard though.
But that's what
right.
That's what
he's not.
And you're not the only one to have that opinion.
That's right. Well, I think the Pirates were reluctant to make that move.
Yeah.
But it's hard to talk about. I mean, all you had to go on was pass balls.
Yeah.
It used to be Gold Glove had a lot to do with how you manage the run game, but nobody steals bases anymore, so you don't have that to worry about. There's still an element of it.
Yeah.
But to me, base stealing should be so easy at this point because it would surprise everyone when you run.
Not only that, like pitchers don't.
No.
They don't help catchers out at all.
No. Well, but here's the thing. Would you, if you knew the amount of stolen base attempts, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to deliver my pitch and get the out at the plate.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not going to run anyway.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I'm not changing. I think they should do a little bit better holding the runner on, but I just it's hard to argue.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Gold Gloves will be announced on Tuesday, so pay attention to that. I'm sure it'll be on MLB Network. I haven't looked up the schedule of when it's happening and all that stuff. I just know that it happens on that day. So
yeah, they usually do it in the evening.
Yeah, they'll have a deal, 7, 8 o'clock, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's a World Series game on. That's interesting. I don't know what they'll do.
Yeah.
They'll probably still have it, but everybody's just going to be watching the World Series game.
Yeah, because that'd be Game 6.
Yeah. Very likely that there could be a Game 6. I mean, Houston's not going to go down light, even though I think the Braves finish it up tonight. Anyway, we'll get into that. Silver Slugger is Wednesday, and we do have Brian Reynolds, as to no surprise, in that conversation. I would really like to see him get this.
Yeah.
They pick 3, right? And it's all outfield. It doesn't go by center, left, and right kind of thing. Juan Soto, Nick Castellanos, Bryce Harper, Brian Reynolds, Adam Duvall, Jesse Winker, and Tyler O'Neill.
It's a lot of good offense right there.
One of those 2 Reds players will be there. I wonder if Winker kind of struggling down the stretch with the injury, if that one kind of knocks his out.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. because there's a lot of good numbers across that. I mean, there's a lot of good numbers there. I'd like to see him get it. I really don't know.
I'd like to see him get it, and as much as I'd like to see him get it, I see Soto, Harper, and Castellanos.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see Castellanos out and Reynolds in. But they're, it's one of the reasons I don't get a vote.
You want me to look up Bryce Harper right now? We can get an idea of the numbers he put up this year.
I'm pretty sure he batted over 300 this year.
I mean, that's going to be the question. You know what I mean? I don't know that Reynolds can get it over Castellanos, and the only reason I say that is because I'm a little more familiar with Castellanos.
Yeah.
Castellanos hit 34 homers and hit 309.
Mm-hmm.
And Reynolds hit 302 with 24. Now, I know that's just average. That doesn't do the whole thing, but we could do the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I'm going to pull this up. And I know that this is like we're pulling this up live, so this might be a little bit boring for those who are who are listening in, because it's going to take some time. So you got the floor here for a second.
Yeah, and I don't think that necessarily Reynolds should win it over Castellanos. I'd rather not see a Reds guy win it and see a Pirates win it.
That's why
I said that's why I don't vote.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what.
You're just basing it off of that.
Yeah, 100%.
That's good.
The only person that I named that Juan Soto is such a good hitter, but I don't know if he really if he missed too much time, if they'll hold that against him. He had enough time to be eligible for it. Like he didn't miss that much time, but I wonder if they take into effect how many games played.
Well, I mean, that's what I was saying about Winker too.
Yeah.
Who was the last? Harper.
Mm-hmm. I think Harper shut a lot of critics up this year.
Yeah. So if you're looking on base, you know what I mean, which let's just scratch average. They're all over 300 of the five that I pulled up, and that's probably not fair to Adam Duvall and Tyler O'Neill that I didn't put them in this, but
Adam Duvall hit almost 40 homers too.
I can only get one more guy on here. By the way, guys, using StatHead from Baseball Reference, it's awesome. This player comparison tool is really cool because you can line up 6 guys, pick the year 2021, and just go ham on looking at all their different things. So Soto had the best batting average with 313, but he also had the best on-base percentage. Adam Duvall hit 228 with an on-base of 281. Yes, he had 38 homers, but I'm sorry.
A ton of RBIs, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know how that.
No, yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, RBIs are a hard number when Adam Duvall has 71 runs created, and everybody else is well over 100 aside from Winker, and then you're talking about Winker playing in 110 games. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I think Winker's going to have a hard time with his numbers too. Who was the last one? Tyler O'Neill. Let me get his 2021 up there. Tyler O'Neill on base at 352. So he's still the 6th of the that's, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else is still above that. With Castellanos at 362, Reynolds at 390, Winker at 394 in a lot less games, but Harper 429, Soto 465. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Castellanos is second in slugging behind Harper.
How many games did Soto play? Because I know he was hurt a lot.
No, he played 151. That's what
Really?
I was kind of wondering. Like, I didn't know he missed time.
I thought he missed like a lot of time early on.
No, he didn't hit home runs early on, but he was hitting like over 350 for a long time.
Hmm.
Anyway, if you look at some of these, runs created, I mean, it's Harper, Soto, Reynolds are the top three, 134, 129, 117. You know what I mean? Like that's a good. You can look at things like RBIs, but if you don't got people on base, Reynolds is still third in that. You know what I'm saying? So you talk
Right.
some different. I don't think they do. Yeah, Baseball Reference. Looking at some of these other ones. If you look at where's the WAR here, because you know that's going to be one of the first stats. Actually, I don't know that you. I think you just want to look at like offensive WAR, right?
Right. Right.
But I don't see where that is.
Do
So
offensive WAR?
yeah,
I thought
there's
WAR was just a general.
no, there's there is offensive WAR. It's everything except for fielding. And Juan Soto's a 6.8 in that. Now, fielding in his world it increases. But like if you look at Bryce Harper, who has a 6.5 offensive WAR, his WAR is 5.9 because his defensive is a minus 1.2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brian Reynolds is a minus 0.3 defensive. Tyler O'Neill's increases by 0.6. So if you look at the WAR, which is kind of like a combined thing, and I don't think it actually increases by that amount. Actually, it might. No. Because Reynolds is a 6.5 offensive WAR and a 6 WAR, but his defensive WAR is just a minus 0.3. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But either way, even in WAR, Tyler O'Neill jumps up because of his defense and Bryce Harper drops down. But if you're just looking at that offense, Brian Reynolds is right there, man. He's top 3 in almost every one of these. Now, every once in a while, Harper jumps up. Every once in a while, Castellanos jumps up. But Reynolds and Soto are consistently in the top 3 in all of these things. Now, until I click on home runs, and then Brian Reynolds is 5th, right? Because you got 35 and then homers for Harper, and then Castellanos and O'Neill both had 34.
Which I think goes a long way for the Silver Slugger Award. I don't know. Now maybe I'm thinking.
No, it does. I mean, home runs are going to.
Yeah.
That's a offensive statistic. Now, when you throw doubles in, O'Neill drops down a little bit. Reynolds comes up to the number 3 spot. But Jesse Winker in 110 games had the same amount of home runs that Reynolds hit in 159.
Didn't Reynolds lead all of baseball in triples?
Yeah, I think there was a few of them tied with 8. But he had 8, and he's tied in that. I don't know, like Silver Slugger, they don't really take into consideration things like stolen bases and things like that. So
no,
that's a little bit different. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think he has a legitimate shot to be there.
I do too.
But I think if you say this is my opinion, and I don't know some of these. I think Adam Duvall's out. I think that some of the offense just wasn't there. I think he's out. Because if you value his home runs, then you're going to value the guys that do that and hit home runs.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I think that Duvall's out, and I think Winker, I don't know. I think Winker, because of the 110 games, I don't know, though. I mean, he's right there. He has a shot. Tyler O'Neill really could have a shot. He's got good numbers. He's got the power numbers.
I agree with you, though. I don't think you can win a Silver Slugger batting .228.
Or the on base. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you hit .228, but you have a good on base, to me, it's the same.
No, not for Silver Slugger.
I get what you're saying.
You gotta hit your way on base.
I get what you're saying. You could make the argument. Now, like I said, I'm not looking in depth Adam Duvall. This is an Adam Duvall pod, so I'm not going to try to do that. But yeah, I mean, you could probably create a case. I just think with the class that you're up against right now, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think if those numbers were better, if he hit 228 but hit 50 homers, or even 45 if it was that much different, and your on-base percentage was up over 310 with those other numbers, and then you're going to look at runs created, you're going to look at, you know what I mean? You're going to look at slugging and all of that combined, you could still have numbers that match. I mean, you just look at OPS in general, and if you have a good on-base with a low average, but you have a good on-base and you have a good slugging, you're still going to be right in line with a lot of these guys. So I think there's a way. I just don't think there's a way for Adam Duvall right now. Not in this class.
I don't think there's a way. I just don't think you can reward somebody for batting 228.
I think that. So you're saying you wouldn't give them a vote. You know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't.
That's basically what you're saying. Because I think it can happen. Yeah. I think there are people out there who value the batting average so little that it doesn't even, they're not even looking at, when they're looking at the numbers across the board, they're not even looking at it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's just one of the things. But either way. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with you. At this point. All I'm saying is I don't think he has a shot this year, but I wouldn't write off another player down the line getting a shot with a low batting average.
Yeah.
That's all. If everything else was so overwhelming, you know what I mean?
I just think if everything else was so overwhelming, he wouldn't be batting 228.
I get it. I get what you're saying.
I just...
But he was a good player.
Yeah.
He provided value for his teams.
Absolutely.
Right?
Teams, yeah.
Teams. Anyway, Wednesday, Silver Slugger. Then, we'll see if we're right. Pick 3 right now just to do it. I'll tell you what, let's pick all the way down. We'll just do National League because it doesn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
First base, Freeman, Votto, Goldschmidt, Muncy. Who gets the Silver Slugger?
Freeman.
Okay. I'll go. Yeah, I'm going to go Freeman. I'm going to go Freddie Freeman. Second base, Albies, India, Cronenworth, Turner. Justin Turner? Second base?
Trey Turner?
It says Justin Turner.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I'm going. I just drew a blank.
Yep.
Who's the second name you just said?
Albies, India, Cronenworth, Turner.
I think India takes it.
Dang it. I was going to say India to disagree with you. We'll go India. Third base, Austin Riley, Manny Machado, Nolan Arenado, Patrick Wisdom.
Riley blew up.
Yeah, it's Riley for me. Tatis, Brandon Crawford, Trey Turner, Willie Adames, which Willie Adames is sneaky. But he did half of his year in the American League.
I'm going to say this just to be wrong, but Trey Turner.
Okay, it's Tatis.
It's going to be Tatis.
All right, then here's your 3. Pick your 3 in the outfield.
I tell you what, after looking into that a little bit, I'm gonna say Soto, Castellanos, and Reynolds.
I'll go Soto, Harper, Reynolds. Because we both want Reynolds in.
Yeah.
Catcher, Posey, Will Smith, Real Muto, and Omar Narvaez. Getting a nod here. I'm going Posey.
I think Buster Posey gets back on top.
I think so too. I think he had a great year.
Mm-hmm.
That was and because we don't have a DH, we got Marquez from Colorado, Fried from Atlanta, DeGrom from the Mets, and Bumgarner from Arizona. I don't really care, DeGrom.
Yeah, I'll say Bumgarner just to be different.
There you go. there. We'll have to listen back at this for next week, and so nobody cares except for me and you whether we were right or wrong on this. Gold Gloves. You want to go through those real quick? National League Gold Gloves. Let's give it to. I'm giving it to Stallings because I want to.
Same.
Oh, okay. Freeman, Goldschmidt, or Muncy. Look, same names, dude. I mean, superstars at first base.
I haven't looked into any of the numbers.
No
saying
numbers
Freddie
at all.
Just because.
All right, Muncy doesn't have one. I'll go Muncy. Second base, Albies, Edman, or Colton Wong.
Colton Wong.
Colton Wong. Yeah, he's won 2 straight. Going for his 3rd straight. I mean, he's so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, third base, Arenado, Machado, Ryan McMahon. I will say this because I know that we want, like, where's Key Bryan? Not enough games.
Yeah.
So that's
Arenado.
All. Yeah, it's Arenado. It better be Arenado.
Yeah.
Because we want Hayes to be the one to knock him off.
Yes.
All right. Shortstop, Crawford, Lindor, Newman.
Crawford.
Yeah, I think I will go Crawford. Yeah. Yeah. Left field, Tyler O'Neill, David Peralta, A.J. Pollock.
I have no idea.
I think O'Neill gets 2 in a row. Harrison Bader, Brian Reynolds, Jackie Bradley. It's Bader for me.
Reynolds. Take a sweep, Reynolds.
All right. And right field, Mookie Betts, Adam Duvall, Mike Yastrzemski.
Mookie Betts.
Yeah, me too. I'm at Mookie too. All right, that's fun. We'll see how they go. Tuesday and Wednesday, Gold Glove, Silver Slugger. It's fun times. Maybe the Pirates will take home a little hardware. Never know.
Never know.
All right. So that gets us in. There's some other awards a little more specific to us, right? Not the major league team, but there will be some names here that we like to hear. Sorry, bump my mic. The Pirates announced their organizational awards, their minor league awards. And let's just go down through them. Staff of the Year Award, Greensboro, for the Greensboro Grasshoppers. They finished with the second best record in High A East. They get the nod for that. Some of these are not very, like, oh, that's really cool. I mean, it's really cool for them.
This next one's cool.
Okay. Danny Murtaugh, Coach of the Year. What do you got?
Joel Hanrahan.
Joel Hanrahan.
Do we have one for him? Can we get one for him?
Oh, all right.
We haven't done this in a while.
We haven't done it in a while.
I was reading a little thing on him today, and I think it came up on the Pirates website thing, and it was just talking about how he wants to be back in the majors as a coach.
Yeah.
He said it's been fun working with these kids and getting kids to the majors.
He's been, 4 years? He's been coaching for the Pirates, like in the Pirates organization, I think. Something like that.
Something like that. But he had mentioned that he wanted to make it back to the majors as a coach, and I was like, oh, who's going to give him the option? But then he said, there's a lot of guys in Pittsburgh that I'd like to work with.
Oh, yeah.
Like, nice. So it's not even like he's just looking for an opportunity to coach at the big league level. He wants to coach in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I bet that there's a lot to that, though. Like, of just saying things that obviously, like, there's going to be some openings.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any pitching-wise right now, but never know.
Yeah.
Kudos to you, man.
I wouldn't mind seeing him in a Pittsburgh uniform again.
Hammer time. It's going to be a much bigger jersey than it was when he was playing.
Much bigger.
Not going to be wearing the same jersey.
That's fine.
Yeah. Hammer time. All right, Manny Sanguillen, Teammates of the Year. So here we go. Here's where we start hearing some of these players. Where you want to do this? Go bottom to top, top to bottom. I think I have them in a weird order. I think I have them in alphabetical order, first name. Let's go bottom to top. Logan Hoffman and Bradenton. Logan Hoffman is a pitcher from Canada. Played in Bradenton this year. Numbers, what's that? Okay, 359, 22 games. 82 innings. He only he started 13 games, but he pitched in 22. Okay. Not bad. I'll say this, though. This is teammate of the year, so numbers maybe just don't even matter here. Aaron Shackelford. Yeah. Aaron Shackelford, first, and third. I thought most of the time it actually was listed for second as well. 2021 looks like, yeah, DH, third base, second base, first base. 24 years old, high A, so kind of like old for that. Right. Not old, but you know what I mean. Yeah. He's there. He's high A. He's a little older than most of them in high A. But he hit 290 on base, 22 homers. 210 batting average. You like that?
Not a big fan.
No, 290 on base. I mean, and that's what I'm not a big fan of 290 on base.
No.
You know what I mean? But either way, he's a good teammate. Kudos to you, Shackelford. Like the name, too. A little Rusty Shackelford action. Double A was Josh Bissonnette, which is listed at 6 foot, but I don't think he's 6 foot tall. We saw him in Akron that day. I just remember him looking really short, but apparently he's not. Also 24 years old. College guy, went to Baylor, played 4 years. This is really his first, he had a rookie season in 2019 and then 2020. So, I mean, numbers are just kind of unimportant to teammate of the year, right? He hit 1 home run. He's a little guy. He played all over the place when Castro was getting called up and Cruz was hurt. You know what I mean? They were moving guys around a lot. Ji-Hwan Bae ended up in center field quite a bit, so there was just a lot. He moved around, played a lot of places, and that's probably where he gets that nod. And Bly Madris in AAA, who actually, here's your example right here. No, never mind. That was a 10-game. I looked at the Altoona one. He only played 10 games in Altoona. He hit 192, but his on base was 364. But that's only 10 games. So no, but in AAA, 272, 352 on base, hit 9 homers. He's actually had a decent year. He's 25 years old. AAA, Bly Madris, teammate of the year. Good on you. I like that because I like to know, like, I'm a guy, like I'm a character guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like character.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I assume that plays. The Stargell, yeah. The Stargell Slugger of the Year. Is this a surprise to anybody? No. O'Neal Cruz. Altoona and Indianapolis. And Pittsburgh. But this is minor league kind of thing. So his home run that he hit at the majors doesn't really play. 17 homers, 310 average, 375 on base. Great year.
Yeah.
And got his way all the way to Pittsburgh. O'Neal Cruz, we've talked a lot about O'Neal Cruz. So
yeah.
I don't mean to just, brush, hey, kudos, but really we're not surprised.
Right.
However, Kenta Colby reliever of the year, Emmanuel Mejia, a relief pitcher in Greensboro. 22 years old. Now he pitched, it says Greensboro. I have Greensboro written here. But he spent probably most of the time in Bradenton and moved up. So overall, with the two teams together, 0.42 ERA in 20, finished 24 games, 9 saves, 5-2 record. 8 of those saves were in Bradenton. Looked like he wasn't really saving games when he moved up, but yeah, nasty stuff it looks like.
Yeah. Solid year.
42 innings, 53 strikeouts, 42 2/3, 53 strikeouts, 27 walks. Emmanuel Mejia, I'd imagine going to Altoona next year, or maybe starting off in Greensboro, going to Altoona. He's 22, so it's realistic to see him in Altoona right away.
Mm-hmm.
But gets a little nod there, reliever of the year for the Pirates. Omar Moreno, base runner of the year. Lolo Sanchez, 30 stolen bases. Third straight year with 30 stolen bases. I mean, he's just absolutely fast. Lolo's an interesting player to me. I think he's one of the guys that we talked about. It's Rule 5 eligible. He's been Rule 5 eligible, but made like a huge difference. And this is actually a really good example of what we're talking about, average versus on base, because you're saying in 2019, in 52 games, now he played in 113 games, but I'm trying to look at this. In 61 games is the one, so 131, yeah. In 61 games in Greensboro. Now, to be fair, Greensboro was low A in 2019. Now it's high A. They did that whole flip-flop. But either way, he hit 301 with a 377 on base, and he had 4 home runs. This year, he hit 264, but he had a 372 on base, which is only 5 points different. So his batting average dropped by 35 points, but he was only 5 points different. His slugging went up. Right? His slugging went from 451 to 453, so barely, but it went up. But which guy are you taking? The 301, 377 or the 264, 372? Because the second one, he has 17 home runs.
Right. And 260 is not bad.
Fair. I see what you're doing. I see where you're going with that. But I'm just saying, there is a difference. Like, to me, I will take the 260 every time. You know what I mean?
It's going to do more damage.
If he's going to do more damage, and he's on base basically the same amount.
Yeah.
Get on base. I don't care if you hit on or you get on from a walk. You're on base.
And that's absolutely fine. Like, I'm on board with that theory. I just don't think a guy like that can win a Silver Slugger. And not 264
can.
Bad.
Yeah,
absolutely it can. But
you're looking at one guy. I mean, he made huge strides from one season to the next. You know what I mean?
He might have had a bad batting average on balls didn't play too. He might have just been super unlucky as well.
Fair.
With the batting average, you know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, obviously not digging into that for...
You're right. No.
But yeah, that's a good point.
I just don't feel like...
Lolo Sanchez, though. First off, his name is Kevin Brian Sanchez. I didn't know that. Anyway, he's a guy that might find his way back on the 40-man roster because he changed a lot. Bill Mazeroski, Defender of the Year. Greensboro again. Jared Triolo, third base. Kind of has him kind of bouncing around, but hit 304 this year. Is that right? 304, 369 on base, 15 homers. Jared Triolo. Might want to remember that name a little bit.
Yeah, they talked about him a lot this year.
Yeah, 23 years old, high A. He'll be moving up.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Friend, Pitcher of the Year. Bradenton, Adrian Florencio. Nasty. 22, just his second year. He pitched in 11 games in 2019. 2.46 ERA. In 19 starts. Let me see, 95 innings. 117 strikeouts. 30 walks. Nasty.
Yeah.
And the Player of the Year, the Honus Wagner Player of the Year, Matt Frazier. We talked about him absolutely demolishing baseballs in Greensboro, then getting a call up to Altoona. And basically it was everybody's thing this year to say, Matt Frazier needs more attention. Well, Matt Frazier's getting more attention.
Yeah.
And I think he will. He played center field well and hit the crap out of the ball. Let's see the numbers here. I'm just going to look at the two combined.
How old is he?
He's 23 this year. And he Greensboro, he's like 23. He's kind of right there, but then moved up to Altoona. And really the numbers are are ridiculous in Greensboro. 314 with a 401 on base with 20 home runs. But then he went up and he still hit 288 with a 356 on base, 3 home runs in just 37 games, and it was slow. He had to make an adjustment. He made an adjustment and then hit really well again. So impressive year for Matt Frazier.
For him to start out in Altoona next year, maybe get up to AAA.
Yeah, where he's at age-wise, yeah, he's absolutely got a possibility to do that. Chances are he stays the whole year there, but who knows? With the way Sherrington was aggressive in moving guys up, it's possible that he continues that trend with him. So, kudos to all you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
All the awards, all that good stuff. About wrapping it up here. World Series. Let's I know we kind of broke it down a little bit already with the World Series, but we don't know. The game's still tonight. Game 5, it's possible. Either the Braves are the champs or Houston pushed to Game 6 and they can move it to Hit It Made Park. No, wait. Hit it. You see what hit it made? Like, I'm going to hit it and I have a maid to tell me what the pitch is? Yeah.
Oh, that's not where I thought you said it was a good hitting ballpark.
It is also that, but actually I was going one step further, calling them cheater. Yeah. I'm just kidding. They did say that Houston's looking for a camera guy for the last 2 games. I'm just kidding.
Jeez.
I'm just kidding. Listen, I'm leaning into it. It's not even a thing for me right now. There are opinions about that, but they're not cheating. Right? They're not cheating now. I'm pretty sure there's a Hawkeye on them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not happening. Anyway, and for Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez, those dudes are studs.
Oh, Kyle Tucker's unbelievable in the postseason this year.
I mean, the kid's just good, though.
Even though, well, yeah, he's good, but for a guy, he's not a rookie, but for a young player like that to get into the playoffs and just explode, kudos, man. Even with their whole team hasn't been hitting, and he has.
Okay, so I know we've had enough conversations about starting pitching.
Mm-hmm.
How painful has this World Series been for you?
It's rough.
And the Braves. Who's starting for the Braves tonight? I got
Tucker Davidson.
I got to admit, I don't know who that is.
He's a rookie.
He's
had to throw him on. I mean,
they start naming these guys who are starting, and I'm like, who?
He's thrown well for him. He's thrown some games for him this year, just not very many. I think he was.
Kyle Wright was really good last night, and I got to ask this question: why not? Why doesn't he just start the game? I don't understand.
Wright. I don't know.
You knew Kyle Wright was your starter. You knew he wasn't pitching the first inning, but he was going to go out there in the second inning. The plan was the second inning, right?
Well, why did they do that with Urias for LA?
That's what I'm saying. Well, you're asking the same question.
Yeah.
And I'm there.
Exactly.
And I'm asking the same question. Why not? Yeah. I don't understand the idea of just.
I don't get it.
You they like made this thing where they didn't even tell him he was going to start till he showed up. What's his face that started? And it's like, well, why?
First career start in the World Series. Like,
what are you doing to him?
Yeah.
I actually felt bad for him. Like, how did you expect he was going to do?
Yeah. I was watching High Heat just a little bit ago before I got jumped on here, and they were talking to Mad Dog was talking to Alana Rizzo, and she put it like, by the way, you're going to get your first career start in the World Series. Good luck.
Yeah, what do you expect?
I mean, like, yeah, like
now they're not alone. This is not a manager making poor decisions in the ways that we could say, because this is common right now.
Yeah, it's a trend.
And so I like that word, because when you say trend, you're throwing that insistence that it will go away, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I don't know if it will. I don't know if it won't. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Think it's something that's okay. I think it's something that is okay in the regular season. I don't like it.
Which is interesting that you say that, because even last week you were saying that you expect less out of your pitchers in the postseason than you do.
I
get
expect less innings.
Yeah, I get
First
the,
start.
hey, I'm gonna take this guy out, Ian, right? Ian Anderson.
Ian Anderson, yeah.
I drew a blank right there. Oh, because I was trying to say Nick Anderson. Anyway, Ian Anderson goes 5 innings, hasn't given up a hit. They take him out, and everybody says this is garbage. I do understand saying he's at 76 pitches. He's not going to throw 9 innings.
Right.
That's a fair argument. But then there's also the argument that he wasn't really on.
Right.
He didn't throw a ton of strikes.
Well, and you're in the World Series, and the reason I say I don't expect as many innings out of my starter, if he throws 8 innings, he's got to have 4 days off. You're not bringing him back on short rest to start.
If he throws 4 innings and 85 pitches or 8 innings and 73 pitches.
Right. But you know, and pitch count's a thing at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I expect less because I want him to throw a few less pitches, because in the regular season, your pitch count is what it is. I don't think it's absolutely crucial. A lot of people do. I'm not saying they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in the playoffs and you're playing a 7-game series, you need that pitcher to pitch on a little bit shorter rest.
Right.
You're going from a 5-man rotation to a 4-man rotation. In this case, 3-man rotation.
In this case, 6-man rotation, because we don't know who in the world we're starting.
True. But, you know, and not only do I lessen the load because I need him to come back sooner, I lessen his load because every pitch is more important.
Yeah.
Every pitch that you pitch in the World Series, every pitch you throw is a high-stress pitch.
Right.
Whether there's nobody on or there's bases loaded, every pitch matters.
Yeah. It's still, I just don't understand it yet.
Right.
I don't know how that helps. If you're planning on putting a guy out there in the 2nd inning, and then he has to come in and bail a guy out in the 1st inning, and then you're okay with the fact that he just goes 4 more?
Yeah.
Why? Why not just start him?
Right.
And here's the thing. I'm not saying that this is a dumb decision. I'm just questioning it. I'm just saying I'm not there yet. I don't understand that thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't heard a good argument on why that's a great idea.
Right.
Mostly because the people who think it's a great idea aren't on TV. Because all the guys on TV are like, this is dumb. You know what I mean? So I don't, there's just a part of that I don't get. And I'm not saying that I even disagree with it, because I'll say that over and over again, that, well, I'm a computer nerd in ways, you know what I mean? I do a lot in my work with numbers and data and stuff like that. So I'm all about it. There just has to be, I'm also kind of a old school baseball fan too. You know what I mean? Yeah. I like the National League. I like strategy. I like that stuff. So not that numbers changes that. There's just a lot that I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I pulled it up real quick because he started 4 games this year. Tucker Davidson did. Through 20 innings, 18 strikeouts, and 8 walks.
At the major leagues.
At the major league level. Okay. 3.60 ERA.
The big thing when you get here is Charlie Morton would be starting.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. In Gwinnett, he had a 1.17 ERA this year. So he's good.
Yeah.
But
it'd be like Roansy Contreras getting an opportunity next year at the end. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not meaning Roansy Contreras is that good right now. I mean, for Braves fans, they already knew about this guy. They already expected him to be here, wondering when he's going to get here. Kind of like we are with guys like Roansy Contreras.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So my question, real quick, before we finish this up, is the decision, and I want your take on this because you were a switch hitter.
Oh.
The decision for Albies to bat right-handed against Greinke, a right-handed pitcher.
Yeah,
blew my mind.
It's not rare. Like, it's not rare for a guy to to do that, but usually there's a specific reason. Neil Walker always hit right-handed against right-handed knuckleballers. You know what I mean? But that seems to make a little more sense because now you're talking about a knuckleball.
Right.
That's a huge difference. Zach Greinke might throw not as hard, but Greinke's pretty tough against a lefty too, and maybe that's...
And that's what they said.
Me personally, I wasn't as good of a hitter as Albies, so...
Sure,
obviously,
but still,
I would have always wanted to be opposite.
Yeah.
And I just don't know. I don't know what would have gotten me to now. And I had a couple years where I didn't switch hit, that I only hit left-handed. And I never went up against a lefty that I thought I'd go left. That I didn't think, man, I wish I could hit right-handed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I always wanted to hit right-handed. But I had a couple coaches who said, I'm not giving you double the time in the batting cage you're hitting one way. And so that's what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it was, I guess if I was going to make a choice on that, it would have been I'll hit left-handed against somebody who throws really hard because my bat speed was better left-handed.
Yeah.
So that would have been my only reason to say I'll go lefty against a lefty is if I felt like I couldn't catch up to him right-handed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I still can't imagine doing that.
So like when I look at it, I'm thinking to myself, it's crazy to me to make that decision in the World Series and in that important of a game to just be like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and bat right-handed against this right-handed pitcher.
Yeah,
that's like
it is crazy because
it just blew my mind
when it happens that way. Like I said, I could see it happening the other way more often than it that way. Like even when Neil Walker would say, I'm going to hit right-handed against this knuckleballer. And to me, I always think, well, that's weird because you don't hit right-handed as much as you hit left-handed. So if anything, I would think that you would say, hey, this guy, I'm going to go ahead and hit left-handed against him even though he's a lefty because I'm so comfortable hitting left-handed.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it goes to show that he's super comfortable hitting right-handed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess that's a good sign for him. I don't know.
Did you think about it?
Yeah, I was like, I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It took me a second. Like he was up to bat and
it's not like he throws that slow. Like he's still hitting 90. So it's not a velocity. Yeah, I mean, he was hitting 90 most of the game. I mean, most of the game. He only threw 4 innings.
I was watching a lot of it on my phone last night, so I didn't.
Yeah.
But
he screams
when he,
he screams when he throws the pitch.
Yeah. When I saw him swing at the high and away pitch and struck out, it hit me. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That was Albies.
Yeah. Yeah. It's different for sure. It must have something to do with the way that his stuff breaks, and maybe he's had no luck against him. I don't really think that's it. I think it was more of a confidence move. Like he thought he had a better chance.
Yeah, I mean he obviously thought he had a better chance.
True.
He's just wondering. Yeah, I'd like to hear his take on that.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody had asked him.
Yeah, I don't remember the dialogue around it. I remember them saying it, and I was kind of like, oh, okay, but I don't remember like a specific conversation about it. But
yeah,
it'll come up.
Anyway, yeah,
it'll come up at some point. But Greinke, I don't know, man. When Houston didn't have McCullers, but then again, I don't even know. Your brain says, oh, you're missing starters, you're at a disadvantage, where your brain defaults to that. But really, what we're learning is maybe it takes a whole pitching staff in the World Series, and even more so now than it ever did.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's just a lot less. I mean, relievers are as important as starters. 100% at this point.
Yeah.
So, Easton behind you, he's into it, man.
Yeah, he's been all over it tonight.
All right, well, that's it. So Braves tonight, or do they go back to Houston? I know you think the Braves are winning it. It's with a 3-1 lead. I think most people do now.
Yeah.
But you think it's tonight, or you think they have to go back?
Well, if my prediction is to be true, then they'll go back to Houston for one more.
That's right.
But I'd like to see them win it in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, I mean that's obvious. I think if
Always.
anybody would want that. Um, the numbers on now this is different because they're not the bottom, but the numbers on teams that aren't in the top who end up winning the World Series, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go to the best team. It goes to the hottest team. I say it every year. The World Series is not our opportunity to find out who the best team is this year. It's not.
Right.
The World Series is see who can win a championship. And that doesn't always go to the best team. Not saying the Astros are better, but I'm saying the Dodgers were, the Giants were.
Yeah.
Because over the course of 162, that's really where you find out who the best team is.
Yeah.
Or who the best team was. The best team this year was the San Francisco Giants.
Yep.
And, but this happened. And the other thing is looking at how many teams are the fifth team in the playoffs. Now, they're not because they won a division. But, last time the Giants won, they were the fifth team in the playoffs. In past years, they wouldn't even have made the playoffs. They ended up winning the World Series. The Cubs did it. I mean, we know those years because those years were the years that they knocked us out.
Right.
And they went on to win the World Series as the fifth team. And they're not the only ones. I guess the only reason I say that, this is just it's just a tiny little closing thought, right? Mm-hmm. To say, new CBA is coming. There will be new rules that will be put in place. When they added a fifth wild card game, and you're looking at one guy who still hates a one-game playoff, but it shows that it's not a dumb thing. For one, those games are electric, which is good for entertainment value and things like that and whatever.
Yeah.
I still don't think that it's necessarily fair, but dude, life's not fair, and neither baseball doesn't have to be either. But it's fair enough, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's fair enough that the Braves won 88 games and they're making it, and the teams that made it in the wild card game were better than them.
Yeah.
So take it that way, that the Cardinals would have been out of the playoffs instead of the Braves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes things happen, and they happen for good reason, or at least they work out to create another piece of narrative, right?
Yeah.
And in this case, the CBA is coming. There's going to be, a DH. Hopefully, they get rid of fans doing the wave, but that's not going to happen. But either way, we can put up a net all the way down fair territory, but we won't tell people just to pay attention. I know. It's harder to tell people what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I went way off right there.
Sure did.
They're not going to do anything. CBA, some things are going to happen. Some things are going to be talked about. Closing thoughts. Because who knows? We're gonna talk about the CBA a lot. But it's coming December 1st. Guaranteed they don't have an agreement by then, even though they say they wish they do. They won't.
No.
All right. You got anything else?
No, I'm just, like I said before in the opening, I'm just looking forward to see what Sherrington's got up his sleeve.
Yeah, it's going to be.
What are you going to do?
I think Yoshi's going to be the first thing we're going to hear about, and then I think extensions are going to be on the table. But then I think most free agency stuff is probably going to be sitting around waiting for the CBA and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. November will be hot because of the, there's still dates in November where 40-man roster decisions have to be made and things like that. So all of that stuff. There's awards coming up next week, all of those things. Also, last thing, this is the first episode we're recording on video. So as long as the sound is okay. Look out for us on YouTube. We're gonna put this up on video so you can see our ugly mugs, and whatever. To be honest with you, this stuff's a lot of fun for me. So Easton, calm down. This stuff's a lot of fun for me. So it's just me messing around doing stuff for fun. So anyway, that's all we have. You good?
I'm good.
Let's go Bucs.
Let's go Bucs.